This is a country with a culture, and we have a right to ask whether or not all cultures are compatible with the culture of America.
It's amazing when the Grand Wizard of the the President of the United States, he's not the Grand Wizard, right? He's the President. But when the Grand Wizard, President, breaks out the white supremacy and the bigotry and the xenophobia and the fear-mongering and the fascism, it is up to the media and his surrogates to make it normal, to regularize that in the minds and in the ears of Americans. They have to twist themselves in knots. And the only way to actually make what Donald Trump has been saying about his white supremacy views about Somalia and Somalians and United States citizens who have Somali ethnicity is to also become white power movement leaders. And Will Cain, you might not know who Will Cain is. God bless you if you don't know who this dipshit is. He used to be a B team member of the Fox News family. He's now, I guess, a primetime player, has a show. And in this particular clip I'm getting ready to show you, it is remarkable that it is 2025, that we live in modernity. This isn't 1920. When the resurgence of the KKK happened and they marched down the streets of the city in which I sit right now, Washington, D.C., with their Make America Great Again banners and signs. No. It's not then. It's now. And Will Cain would have you believe, he's going to tell you in great detail here about how white culture is superior to other cultures. Look, can we just dispense with the fact that all cultures are equal, blah, blah, blah? It's white culture that accomplishes things. It's white people who do good things. And all those dirty black and brown people, they have subordinate cultures. I'm saying it in a weird voice and in slightly different words, but you tell me if you think I'm exaggerating. Watch White Power Will Cain on Fox News defending Donald Trump's racism against Somali migrants and citizens of the United States.
Minnesota and their Somali community as ICE is zeroing in on the Twin Cities.
They contribute nothing. I don't want them in our country, I'll be honest with you, okay? Somebody would say, oh, that's not politically correct. I don't care. I don't want them in our country. Their country's no good for a reason. These are people that do nothing but complain. They complain, and from where they came from, they got nothing. But when they come from hell, and they complain and do nothing but, we don't want them in our country. Let them go back to where they came from and fix it.
You know, I'm sure there are very honorable, law-abiding, upstanding citizens and contributors from the Somali community here in the United States. But that doesn't mean we can't use our judgment, our wisdom, in analyzing the various contributions of communities and cultures. We're not going to pretend here that all cultures are of equal value or are the same. No one really believes that. No one makes individual choices on a day-to-day basis that reveals they think all cultures are the same, where they choose to live, what they choose to eat, who they choose to socialize with. It's mostly a virtue signal, and that's what you get from most politicians when it comes to this very serious conversation that needs to be had about our culture here in America. You normally get from politicians just pandering, just nonsense, just stuff like this from Minnesota's mayor.
That's not American. That's not what we are about. And we're going to do right by every single person in our cities. And so, to our Somali community, Daman Shabka, Somalied Kunul, Minnesota, Garahan, Minneapolis, Waan, Ku Janila Hai, Waan, Ku Gereb, Taganahan.
Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey. I would be curious, I don't know Somali, if that's a little bit like Jill Biden saying she likes tacos. I don't know, because it's in Somali. I speak English because I live in America. And that's the point. This is a country with a culture, and we have a right to ask whether or not all cultures are compatible with the culture of America.
We are not going to pretend here that all cultures are of equal value or are the same. By extension, the flip of that is that white culture, American white culture, is more superior than any other. That we're not equal of equal value or the same because we're better. That's what he's saying. He's not even being cute about it. It's not even like a wink, wink. And he wants to tell you that any other viewpoint is virtue signaling, that we finally have a president. That's what you get from most politicians, he said, but not Donald Trump. He tells you the truth about white culture. Then they mock the Minneapolis mayor with his broken Somali. I don't know why you would, maybe that means something to the people of Somalia or the people of Minneapolis who are of Somali descent. Maybe, I guess, I don't know. But this is where we are. We are so downtrodden. We have lost so much ground relative to equality and equity and decency even, that journalists have to ask questions like this from John Berman to Tricia McLaughlin, who is the spokesperson for Kristi Noem, that really, he asked the question, how many of the 40,000 Somalis that live in Minnesota are garbage? That's the question he's asking someone paid to be a spokesperson for this administration. How many of them are garbage? I mean, he might as well ask, so how many of the Jews do you think are vermin? Oh, wait, no, that's my question from the 1930s. Let me break out my 2025 version for the Trump administration. Watch this.
The president yesterday spoke extensively about his feelings about security and immigration and asylum in different parts of the country. He said he does not want people from Somalia here. He called them garbage. The Wall Street Journal estimates there are some 40,000 people from Somalia, born in Somalia, living in Minnesota right now. How many of the 40,000 people born in Somalia living in Minnesota do you consider to be garbage?
John, we're really looking at the data, the analysis here, particularly out of Minneapolis and other parts of the country where we're seeing Somalia. There's widespread fraud, particularly marriage fraud when it comes to immigration. We're looking at criminality here. Homeland Security has very reliable data here and analysis that we can go after these individuals and make sure that they're not a public charge on our communities, and they're also not a public threat to the American people.
My question is, all of them? The president says he doesn't want them here. He called them garbage. Do you consider that to be all of the 40,000 people born in Somalia now living in Minnesota?
John, this is not about politics. This is about public safety. We saw what just happened last week with the terrorist attack against us here in our nation's capital, where one of our great heroes, Sarah Beckstrom, was killed. That's what the precipice of this was. That's why we have to get back to base camp and make sure we are prioritizing the American people's safety. It cannot be overstated the position the Biden administration put us in when it came to vetting, letting some of these individuals under these parole programs where there was little to no vetting, no biometric data, no criminal background history, no cyber, no financial crime history. They were really relying on people to vouch for these individuals and say they should be in the country. When it comes to asylum claims as well, they were not interviewing these people on a yearly basis as expected by USCIS. That's why these people can... Go ahead, John.
I'm so sorry. The individual who came to the United States suspected of killing, so tragically, that National Guard member, came to the United States during the Biden administration, was granted asylum in April during the Trump administration.
Not normal. Dangerous. White supremacy. So again, for all of the people who are probably not here because they stopped watching me years ago when I used to say, and I still say, that the Republican Party is the largest, most effective, and dangerous white supremacy organization on the planet. Well, stop being hyperbolic. You're just exaggerating. That's not the way it is. Am I not right? Am I not correct? We're in a situation now where the media has to ask questions or chooses to ask questions like, how many of the 40,000 people born in Somalia live in Minnesota do you consider garbage? And she never even challenged the premise of the question. She didn't say, we don't think they're garbage. She said, we've got to study the data. Is this your country? Listen, I've got all kinds of trolls who watch every moment of my content. Trust me, I get many voicemails and emails from them every single day because they are obsessed. Is this the country you want? Howard in Ohio? This is what you want? Because if the answer is yes, that means you're a bigot. You are a white supremacist. If you agree with Will Cain that white culture is superior, you might as well be Richard Spencer or Jared fucking Taylor or Nick Fuentes. It is antithetical to the Constitution of the United States that you Republicans claim to love. But much like your Bibles, you cherry pick that too. Even though it clearly, plainly, literally says due process for all persons, you think it's only for citizens because you're liars and your cult leader is a grifting megalomaniac. What do you think? I'm sure I'll hear from the trolls. I don't need to tell them what the number is. They have it programmed into their phones. 714-576-4054. Of course, you can email me daily@dollemore.com. But the best way to do it is just comment below this video. Make sure you're subscribed. It's free. Share this video. Engage with the content. That would be fantastic. I'm going to go. I love and appreciate you very much. I'll see you next time. Be genuine. Take care of one another.